Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Yeah. I also remember the scene where the water horse escapes the house and Crusoe enters the fountain and drinks all of the water as it grows. And then I remember seeing Angus MacMorrow and his I think it was his sister or Ben Chaplin, I think they come out and see Crusoe extremely bigger. And then I remember seeing them immediately driving him out to the lake because they're like, okay, yeah, we gotta get this guy to the wild. You know what I
Yeah, he
mean?
was too big for the hat because they were keeping him in the bathtub prior to that, but he grew so suddenly, and that was part of the magic of the creature is he could grow overnight, and so yeah, they couldn't keep him in the bathtub any longer, so they had to, it's like if you try to raise a wild animal, sometimes people will try to raise, like a wolf or a raccoon or something. I mean, but they belong in the wild, not as someone's pet. And so, if you do the right thing, you let them go. And that's what, again, it's a double meaning, it's the double meaning and metaphor of the movie. I mean, Ben Chaplin tells Alex, he belongs in the wild. You have to let him go. But that you have to let him go is the theme all the way through it is you have to let your father go.
Yeah, especially since it progresses from letting him go by taking him to the lake to not limiting Crusoe to just that lake. He has to accept, as well, that Crusoe is eventually going to be bored with that single lake and want to go out to the ocean. And that ends, with the ending scene where an older Angus tells the tourists, sometimes the creature comes looking for him and vice versa. But the boy never saw him again. And he
That's
says
right.
it so peacefully, to mean that he's come to peace with it despite missing his friend.
That's correct. You got it. That's what we were going for.
Yeah, for sure. So, how was that movie received when it went into theaters? Was it good?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were, you never know how, critics are funny people and you never know how they're going to react, but they reacted really well to it. Over the years, I became friendly with Roger Ebert, the great American film critic. And Roger loved the movie and he called me up to tell me how much he loved the movie. And as long as Roger liked it, I didn't care what anybody else said. As long as Roger liked it, but he liked it, but so did a lot of the other critics. So it was well received, and the audiences loved the movie. So I was pleased with the reception of it.
Good. That's great to hear. Do you consider Waterhorse your best movie you made, or do you consider it to be the hardest, or where does it stand for you?
Well, I mean, it's like I've heard other directors say it's like trying to choose between your children. I mean, you love them all and you care for them all because you put a lot of work into them. I mean, that one was technically the most complicated of them all, and also it was a great adventure for me and my family because we spent a year in New Zealand. I mean, I lived in New Zealand for a year, and my son went to school in New Zealand and grew up. So in that way, it's very special because of that. And we make great friends in New Zealand. We miss it very much. We hope to go back and to see everyone there because it was a great experience. So um, you know, I don't know, best or whatever. I don't know, I did, but certainly it was a wonderful experience and technically from the technological standpoint, definitely the most complicated one. Yeah.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Cheers!